So it looks like we can get started. This is a Polka Dot Basics embossing folder, and this is new to the catalog. And you can see, you get a piece of paper. You can see what the size of the polka dots are. This is going to be nice on card projects. I'm really liking that. Embossing folders are a nice way to add interest and texture to your cards, and they're also at a very nice price point. And next is another embossing folder, but this one is a dynamic embossing folder, which means that it is significantly thicker. In fact, I will show you in comparison. This is the layered leaves, and this is the polka dot that we just looked at. So you might be able to see what the difference is in the thickness. This polka dot folder is the thickness of just one of the sides of the leaf of the dynamic, and this is the thickness of a cutting plate. So you can see that it's significantly deeper. And so what does that translate into? Well, it means that you will have an extra deep impression, and it's very clear that some of these leaves are more defined off of the plastic than others are. I can see in profile that some of the leaves are taller than the others, which is going to give a really nice appearance to dimension. So this is exciting. I think since there are multiple colors here on this picture, that it's probably giving us an idea of what's going to be a bigger cut. So these smaller leaves are definitely higher and more raised than this is. So that you can feel with your fingers automatically. So it looks to me like we're getting 1, 2, 3 different levels of raised impression, which is exciting. So if you guys are just coming in, then this is a Facebook Live video where we can participate together, and you can type in the comments and let us know who you are, where you're from, and interact. If there's anything you want me to get a better look at, then just give me a shout out. So this is going to be something that I'm really looking forward to using, is the Layered Leaves Dynamic Impressions embossing folder. So here's another one of these special embossing folders, and I'll tell you guys that I saw this embossing folder at Onstage, and I couldn't believe that it was an embossing folder and that it was not actually made from real ribbon. It looked so much like real ribbon. So as you can see, I'll put a piece of paper in, that you could see from the shadows from the lamps that there is really a deep cut on this. It's nice. It's really nice. So I'm thinking also with the photo that we've got a couple of different layers of cut, and the edges are definitely, there's more to the depth. So this is another one that's going to really be nice. This is going to show up all over the place. It's beautiful. That's called the Ruffle Dynamic Textured Impressions Embossing Folder, or TIEF, but it's the ruffles. So nice. So the next thing up is the Naturally Eclectic Suite, but this is called Eclectic Layers Thinlits Dies. I was fortunate enough to receive the stamp set at Onstage as a part of the prize patrol, but I did not have the dies that go with it, and the dies are gorgeous. grabbing the stamp set here. Sorry I didn't have it ready. But this is the stamp set that goes along with the dies. And as you can see, we have one framelit for this flower, one framelit for this flower, one framelit for the leaves, either one of them. And then this is another type of a cutout that will match this. And this is another type of a cutout that will match this. And then everything else is just some extra things. See, here are some leaf sprigs, which I'm really excited for. A little, looks like maybe it's going to be for berries. And then we have some things that are going to match the paper. I did not order the paper for this suite. I have to pick and choose, as we all do, what's going to be the best thing for us to have on our list that we can get more use out of. And the paper was not high up on my list because I needed to get a few other papers. But it is really beautiful and will go perfectly. So here is a heart that looks like it's a fractured or fragmented heart. I can't get it off of there right now, but and this is a diamond, and this is a diamond as well. So, and this is really going to be nice. This is going to cut away part of a piece of cardstock without cutting the actual stars or cubic formation away from each other. Now, if this looks familiar, it's because a lot of this design was part of the paper pumpkin when Sarah designed her special paper pumpkin kit. So if you really liked those images and that kind of a look, then this is going to be the suite that you will find it most comparable to in the catalog. So the thinlits are called Eclectic Layers Thinlits Dies, and the stamp set is Oh So Eclectic, and it is really pretty. Next up is the Ribbon of Courage suite, and I want to remind you guys that when you place an order, you get to accrue Stampin' Rewards. I actually got this stamp and die for free because once my order reaches the threshold to be able to accumulate Stampin' Rewards, then you get to, and demonstrators do this as well, then you get to accumulate and earn your Stampin' Rewards. So in my order, I had enough Stampin' Rewards to get the Ribbon of Courage bundle, which is the dies called Support Ribbon Framelits dies, and the stamps. And it's gorgeous. Very nice. Let's have a look at those stamps. Very, very nice. So the framelits have a heart that match this, and a smaller heart that match the smaller heart. There's also two ribbon sizes, and there's a nice flower and a nice leaf. So this is something that is going to really get you far for your investment, and it's not really too expensive. But this ribbon set will go for so many different support items. With faith, all things are possible. Look at the font. Oh, it's just so nice. So if you guys are just joining in, then feel free to leave a comment and check in with your name and where you're from. And if you have any questions about anything that I'm showing, then please just pop the question in the comment. So the next up is Coffee Cafe. I was probably the most excited about this. It's not my favorite in the new catalog, but it's pretty close. But the excitement level was because I am really going to be doing a lot with this. This is going to be the main focus of my teacher cards and teacher's aid cards for end of school year, which is next week. So I've been waiting patiently for this to come in so that I can really get cracking and make all of these teacher gifts. I've already gone over to Dunkin' Donuts and gotten a big, huge packet of gift cards that I'm going to use this to go with the gift cards and coordinate and incorporate them somehow. So I'll definitely let you know. I'll make a video tutorial whenever I get my project put together. But this is really, this is so clever. I'm so impressed with what Stampin' Up! Has done. And something else to think about is there are ways that you can repurpose some of the dies that you have in your craft stash or the ones that you plan on getting. So you have the image here of the cup holder, which also looks like a cupcake or a cupcake paper. So how about taking this die and turning it into a cupcake, and then here's the part that you can put on the top where it says the whipped cream. You can make a cupcake out of this. So there's so many different things to do. And here's a nice small oval. Just this image for the straw is something that we can use to just create a perfect strip. There's so many different ways to use our craft supplies in more than one way than they were intended. So here's a look at the stamps. And the fonts are so nice. I really like this. I might change my mind and decide that this is one of my favorites after all. Happiness is a cup of coffee shared with a friend. Life happens, coffee helps. That's the one my husband will like. Life happens, coffee helps. So this is really cute. And the paper that goes with the suite, the framelits, by the way, are called Coffee Cups framelits. And the paper is actually called Coffee Break Designer Series paper. So let's have a look at the paper. I like the way the images are kind of 50s or 60s. They've got a grainy look to them. And it's purpose. It's on purpose. You can tell that they have a purpose to stress. It's uniform on all of the paper. So here's the image of coffee beans. These papers will work nicely in strips too. Or as the straw. This would look cute as a straw. There's some coffee beans. Oh, that's a nice green. So if you're just joining, you want to check in and leave a comment and say hi, who you are, and where you're from. Ooh, look at this one with the coffee rings. That's nice. I like the addition of the blue. Almost reminds me of mint macaron. Here's another image with the coffee bean plant. This is going to be nice too. Now, when you have images such as this, you can cut them out if you like. I don't know if the framelit will actually be the size. There's this little coffee cup framelit here. We might come across an image that it cuts on the paper. Ooh, now let's look at this black piece. That's nice. That's really nice. Very nice. I love this. The colors are gorgeous. And then we're just going to repeat all of the papers that we saw. So there are two sheets, two identical sheets, just as in a regular paper pack. And there's no specialty to this. There's no foils or shiny bits, but it's really nice. So the next item I want to share with you is some more paper, since we're on a paper kick. And this is called Whole Lotta Lovely Designer Series paper. I always, whenever I am looking at or getting used to a new paper, or sometimes even after a while, I always look at the coordinating colors that are on the back. So this tells me that Whole Lot of Lovely DSP will definitely coordinate with Basic Black, Crushed Curry, Pear Pizzazz, Pool Party, Powder Pink, Soft Suede, Tangerine Tango, Tranquil Tide, and Whisper White. So that's one of the best things that I ever hear people talk about in regards to Stampin' Up! Is that they love that everything coordinates. The ink color automatically coordinates with the cardstock, which coordinates with the ribbon, which coordinates with the Designer Series paper. Everything is already coordinated for us. So this is like your map key right here to every pack of paper. So it's always great to make sure that if you take your paper out of the pack, save this back sheet. It's a nice, not quite as thick as a craft board, but it's a nice sturdy white piece. And it has that information that we all need to have. So look how pretty this is. You can fussy cut these images. We pull the whole thing out. This was one of the papers I looked forward to the most. Oh, look at that. There we go. That's pretty. And I really like this one too. Now, I'm not sure if you guys can tell, but if these images look familiar, what I have noticed is a trend for Stampin' Up! This year is that they're taking things that were really popular from the past couple of years and they're bringing it back. So this flower and these colors coordinate with some of the Project Life card packs. Even these little polka dot things here, this was, a lot of it was in Project Life card pack, and it was really fun to work with them and beautiful images. Now, does this look like that embossing folder? It looks a lot like the embossing folder to me. Let's have a look. I think this is it. Yep, okay. Doesn't that look the same? It looks very close to me. So the embossing folder is got the same design as part of this paper does. Now you could take this paper too and you can do some embossing on it or stamping on it. You could use a brayer and give it a whole new look. It definitely gives you more mileage. So isn't that interesting? We know where the design for both of those items came together. So as we continue to look, oh, that's so gorgeous. This is so pretty. This is easily going to be a very popular paper pack. Very summery. Now you can use this. Oh, how pretty. Yeah, I loved working with those Hello Lovely card packs. This is very nice. This is very nice. Thank you, Stampin' Up. This is gorgeous paper pack. I didn't get the stamp set that went along with the suite. Number one, there's no dies that go with the stamp set. And number two, I've got some other things that I have in mind to go along with this paper. And I'll get to that and show you in just a few minutes. But I've got some ideas floating around that are going to be kind of interesting to see how it works out. So here's the glossy white cardstock. And I know there are a lot of people interested in the glossy white, and I understand that it's been around for quite a while, that it's not a new concept, that a lot of people have worked with it before, which is great because that means that you all can share ideas with those of us that have not actually had the opportunity to get this from Stampin' Up! In the past. So let's see how shiny a piece of this is. Oh, and it's extremely thick. I don't know if you can tell from that. It's really nice and thick. So one side is matte, definitely matte, and the other side is glossy. So if you can see the shine, I hope you can see that it is definitely shiny. And I know there's a lot of techniques that we can do with this. So I'm excited. There's 10 pieces inside, and this is going to be fun. Really exciting. So the next item is the adhesive sheets that are officially called multi-purpose adhesive sheets. There are 12 sheets in the package, and the package is well, this is like a half sheet, I guess. It looks like it has been cut by the manufacturer here. But this is a perfect size because you want to be able to use this on intricate dies. This is going to be a perfect solution. As you can see here, this is not sticky, but this side over here is sticky. So whenever you go to put your dies, what you'll do is when you want to use this for a die cut is you'll peel this back and put your paper, and then you'll die cut it actually with the cardstock attached to the sticky stuff. And then once it's die cut, then you'll peel this backing piece off here, and then you'll have something that's already sticky. So whenever you use the Happy Birthday Thinlits that are in the new catalog, then you'll have the opportunity to already have the entire thing be sticky, which is super cool. I'm really excited about that. So I'm hoping that we can get some really good stuff happening with these. And don't throw away any of the loose bits too, because it's an adhesive and we can use it in different ways. So if you're just coming in, then I want to say hi. These are some items from the new catalog that I've just gotten in through UPS this morning, and I've pulled them out of the box and kind of arranged things in an order so that I can not take up too much of your time, and it's just fun to see new goodies. So feel free to put a comment and let me know who you are and where you're from and anything you'd like to say or ask a question about. I am more than happy to respond. So these are called striped treat bags, and there are 10. And this is going to be another one of the things that works with the teacher gifts for me. So if you can see that there is a light foil on this, and it's bag that opens at the top. So actually the adhesive is so strong on the packaging that when it laid across here, it pulled some of the gold up. So if I were to put the goodies inside, I would want to make sure that I fold it down over a certain amount on this particular one. But you can do all sorts of things with these. This is good for if you want to make a 3D project, then here's your 3D project. Just decorate it and you're all set. So this is really exciting. I like the fact that we have opportunities. And you could turn this also into a card holder, like an envelope. You could, if you don't want the tooth edge, then you can use your trimmer to cut it down. And you could fold this up and make it a gift card holder. There's all sorts of things. So I'm thinking that I'm going to work with the coffee cups, the coffee set, and this, and get something exciting happening for teachers and teachers' aides for end of school year gifts. Here are Pattern Party decorative masks, and there's 4 in the package. So here is a medallion, and yes, this does look like the Eastern medallions. It does look a lot like it. Now, masks are made out of plastic, and it's a nice thick plastic. It's thicker than the acetate window sheets that we have. So that way it'll kind of give you an idea. And you don't have to just use them with the new embossing paste. You can use them with a sponge dauber or just a sponge. You can apply some color straight down with the mask. Masks are a very inexpensive way for you to get interest and sometimes a texture on your card. So here is the embossing paste, and I'll open it up, and it's sealed. So let's have a look at it. This is an opportunity to cut away. So as you can see, there's a paste inside, and that's when we would use our palette knives, which are also new in the catalog, to scoop out and then apply over the mask and then pull the mask directly off, and that will give you some instant texture and interest. And you can color this as well. You take a little amount and put it onto a silicone craft sheet, or if you don't have that type of a medium to be able to put onto, you could grab one of those tiny bathroom cups. And if you don't have the palette knives, you can get something from your kitchen that would work, and mix up some color or a couple of different colors with your re-inkers and some embossing paste. Mix it in the little bathroom cup and you're all set. The thing to remember about working with embossing paste is that you need to clean your tools immediately after using it. So that means you would clean your knives and you would also clean your mask. That way nothing is going to damage or become permanent on that. So let's have a look. I'm so excited about the embossing paste. I've had dreams about it at night. I think about all this stuff all the time. So here's the medallion. It has tiny little flowers. They're so cute. And the brick wall. Clouds. These remind me of the clouds from Toy Story, from the boys' wall in Toy Story. I love it. So this is going to really give us some ideas and some tools. We can use this with the hot air balloon thinlits, the up and away. We can use this with all sorts of things. I think it's going to be great. And remember, you can use a sponge or some kind of coloring medium to apply down to your card. And then here's the last one of the 4, and it's a series of diamonds, or it looks almost like a lattice, and some interlocking circles that the open space coordinates to make a diamond impression. Really nice. These tools are very inexpensive. Masks are basically just laser cut plastic, and it is an easy way for you to get into doing something a little different with your crafting and not have to make an incredibly large investment. So that's something to think about with masks. Now currently in the catalog we only sell the 1 packet, but we do have some that might still be on the clearance rack if you enjoy working with masks. We've had others that are like that before. So let's get to stamps. I want to share the fabulous flamingo, and this is a multiple layer stamp process. So let's have a look at actually how big it is. As you can see that it's in comparison, it's much bigger than what you see on the front of the stamp set. Look, this is nice grass, a palm tree, or palm branch. This is nice. And then we have some water. I love you kind of a lot. That's really cute. So this is going to be a fun, interesting way for people to showcase their own ideas of a flamingo. I'm thinking of using this with non-typical colors to make different degrees of purple to make like a purple flamingo or maybe blue. So I'm thinking that you're going to start with the thickest coverage for your base layer. So this would be a light color. Then you take a mid-tone for your definition, and then the deepest tone that you'll have, or you could even go straight to black, will be the outline, and that will be where you'll get the most definition. So this is really exciting. The flamingo is a little bit out of my typical range of what you guys see from my projects. So I want it to, look, even the legs, the legs even have their own definition. But sorry, I digress. I wanted to kind of push myself a little bit and maybe make something that is not as typical and have it be in my style and see if we can just get some new ideas going. So another layering stamp set is So Many Shells, and this one I was excited about. Look at all of the sentiments here. And then here's something new that I have not seen on a stamp set, is a sentiment that says we're here for you. Not just I'm here for you, but we are here for you. So it has one page of nothing but sentiments, and then they've even slid one in over here, and they're just gorgeous. I've seen my friend Maria use this quite a bit, and she was one of the influencing factors for me to definitely say, okay, I'm not going to think about it. I'm just going to get this set, because her projects were so beautiful with it. But I really like the sentiments. They're gorgeous. Very nice. And they're a nice size too. So the stamps are also layering stamps. And what you will think about is which one you want to put first. And there's a lot of people that have gone in different directions with this kind of thing. So you've got a more solid image, which would be your lighter color or your base. And then you've got the stamp with the most definition, and that will be darker. So that way they're going to go stamp right on top of each other. Now, if you have any issues, then follow the little arrow points, and that way you know which side is supposed to go which to a round object. In other words, we have two circular objects here, and you might not remember what the orientation is. So that way you can use the little points and set them to 12 o'clock or 2 o'clock or 6 o'clock or whatever of your choice, but you'll get the next layer exactly in the same position. Just remember, like imagine a clock, and then imagine, that you're definitely doing it at 12 o'clock. There is no dies for these stamps, but they're pretty enough that it's worthwhile to fussy cut. Very, very nice. So think about doing a base layer with this and then doing some gold embossing with the top layer. Wouldn't that be nice? Very beautiful. This stamp set is a little bit more on the pricey side, but it's because there are 18 different stamps in the stamp set, and anytime you have a stamp set that has this many sentiments, it's definitely a higher price point, and it's really worth it. It's so nice. So the next stamp set is Message in a Bottle, and this is really cool because I think it works out with some of the things that we already have that carried over in the catalog. And one of those things being Seaside Shore. So if you can see the similarities, we probably have the same artist that has done the work on both of these sets, and I think they will work perfectly together. These little images are just a tiny bit out of proportion with the fish here, but you could make these appear in the background, and that would offset what the perception is on some of these. But they will all work really nicely together, and this is so cute. This is so cute. These are going to be nice for cards for my boys and to play with, and my oldest son is really excited about the whale. He's been talking about the whale because I've showed him this stamp set several times. So let's have a look. They're pretty true to size, almost exact. Yep, so they're not larger in this set, but they are very nicely drawn, very pretty. Nice set. Message in a Bottle. Coordinates really good with Seaside Shore. There's another stamp set that's in the catalog that is, I forget the name of it, but it has a large mermaid, and they are, they're going to work really well together. All of these items will. So it looks like there are some comments, but I'm not seeing the comments on my screen. I can see them on my phone. So hi Chrissy. Thanks for joining me today. And Carol from Michigan. So I'm sorry that I'm not seeing you guys. I'll try to refresh my computer screen and see if that helps. Otherwise I wouldn't have ignored your comments. I apologize. That's the way sometimes these Facebook Lives kind of work and throw off a little bit. So here's another stamp set, Floral Statements, and for whatever reason I have not been able to get the words in my mind. I'm not really sure why. It is what it is. Sometimes my brain works that way, where I'll remember things that I shouldn't, and then this one I keep remembering as floral. So I don't know, it's crazy. So anyways, this stamp set is one of my favorites from the new catalog, and I have some really great ideas to go with this. Now, if you can see that the flower images are interwoven and already masked off to go with the words. And what I'm thinking is that this paper pack right here that has a lot of the same images, let's find one of those that kind of went. Now this would go a little bit. We have the same petal looking flower, but there's a couple in here in particular that I had in my brain. Here we go. That you could stamp this in gold and emboss it in gold. Think about that. And then you can have this as a background and it will perfectly echo. This matches precisely. So what do you guys think about that? That would be kind of a crossover to see what we have for the stamps and the paper when they don't actually coordinate together. But look at how large these items are. So this would obviously be used on a card that was going to be a top fold, and this one would almost necessitate a side fold card. But this is gorgeous. These stamps will give you a lot of mileage, and it will give you the versatility to be able to color in some things yourself. You could stamp it all in black and heat emboss and then do some watercoloring with those. So floral statements, and I'll try to remember what it is. Floral statements. So next up in the stamps, and then we'll move on to the new accessories, are 3 of the new background stamps. I wasn't able to get every single one of the new background stamps for financial reasons, because let's face it, we all have to kind of, use our best judgment. Oh, Chrissy, I see. Yeah, you might have to think about it. It's nice whenever I can find something that's repurposed. It makes me feel like I've discovered something within a product that justifies me being able to use it. And it justifies a purpose for it. So not just that, but it's a lot of fun to say, hey, guess what? I discovered I can do this. So here is postscript, and as you can see, it looks like it's not one language. It looks like there's possibly a couple of different languages, and there's lots of different images that are in a distressed kind of look. And it's definitely a large background stamp. I didn't get the wood mount, I got the clear mount. And this is really nice. So this is going to be some fun and interesting things. And the burlap. This was one of my most sought after gifts, most sought after background stamps in the catalog. I'm so excited about this. This is going to be great with embossing. This is really going to appear in so many different ways. You can make your own embossed piece of paper and then just kind of cut it away a little bit and allow this fringe, or you can do this on your card base and it'll give you the appearance of having a ribbon or some texture right there on your card base, and then just kind of put some overlays on top of it that are on dimensionals, and there you go. So this is really exciting. I find myself being more drawn to the background stamps and being able to try to get more texture. So that's really something that I look forward to also. So here's the only other one I got. So I got the 3, and this is the tree rings, and oh, isn't that nice? Very nice. And I can feel the ridges on this. Very cool. This is going to be fun. The background stamps are something that's going to be very fun. This will be nice for the fall also. And we've got all the new Wood Textures Designer Series paper. So these are all going to work together. So have you guys seen these little boxwood wreaths yet? They're so cute. There's 12 of them in the package, and I opened it. I'll leave it here. Open. I unfolded one, and I will give you a tip for whenever you get these in and you unfold them. Use your eyes before you use your fingers, because if you look, because they're incredibly tightly wound up, but not only that, they kind of crisscross and have them almost in a knot is the way they've done them in the factory. So if you use your eyes to find the end piece that you can see where it has been cut, then it will be much easier to unwind than it is to grab a leaf and pull, because I pulled a leaf off and thought to myself, hold on, stop what you're doing and figure out a better way to do this. So there's actually 2 in each one of the wells, and that way you're able to have these. And there's so many different possibilities with these. They're so cute. Christmas time, they're definitely going to be very popular. Carol, these were a must-have. I knew that these wreaths were probably going to go on back order right away. So I'm giving it only a certain amount of time before these wreaths are gone to where they're completely out of stock. And then they'll be back ordered in enough time for the holidays. So if you like those wreaths remotely, get them now, and that way you will not miss out and you'll have them. Like the embossing paste. I got 2 cans of embossing paste because I really am looking forward to it. And I have a feeling that it's going to sell out. So here are the mini Stampin' Dimensionals, and I brought out a regular size sheet to be able to oh, I'm sorry, Chrissy. We'll catch you up later. This recording will be here, and then it'll also be on my YouTube channel. So if you are able to catch up later at another time, then thank you for stopping in today. Thank you so much. So you could see here that this is the Stampin' Dimensional size of the mini. I'll put it on my finger. And then here is the size of the regular Stampin' Dimensional. So it is significantly, I would say maybe a 1/4 of the size. Thanks, Chrissy. Thanks for joining. I appreciate you being here. So here is how I usually get a smaller dimensional is I chop up the sides, as we all do. We all have our ways to be able to get the smallest little pieces. And you can see that even these are even smaller than a 1/2 of a dimensional. So this is exciting. I've used these little dimensionals before in the paper pumpkin kits, and have asked Stampin' Up if they would make those available. And I think enough people must have asked the question that, you know, you guys, please, let's have some minis. Since we know they're being manufactured for Stampin' Up, then let us buy them because we love them. So here we go, and they're really going to be nice on a lot of small projects. There are 3 sheets, just like there are with the regular packet of Stampin' Dimensionals. And here is the size packet for the normal Stampin' Dimensionals. So as you can see, the packet is the same size. The sheet is a little bit bigger for the minis, and they're already cut really small, but they have a larger margin around the outside, so you can use those for a margin too. The one thing that I do notice about them is that these are much more stiff than these are, and it could be because there's the pattern is more densely cut. It could be. I'm not sure. I'm not an engineer, so I can only guess. But it's definitely interesting, and I think they will sell out of these as well. Here are the new sequins, and the new sequins are multiple sizes, which is really fun because before they were not in multiple sizes. They were all the same size but with different shapes. And then here we find that they are all the same shape but different size. This is very pretty. So this is going to be probably Pool Party or Soft Sky, Peekaboo Peach. I think a lot of the colors in these are something that we've had from the Sprinkles assortment from the Occasions catalog. They look very close, and they're iridescent, so you can see that we have many different sizes. Let me get some of the itty bitty ones. So you can see here that they really are nice. Hi Marcy, I hope you're doing good today. Come and have a look at some of the goodies that just came in today with UPS. So I'll pop these right back in, and these are, I love sequins. I am so excited to always use them. Now one thing I can see right off the bat here is that we have the addition of the copper sequins. So if you are a fan of copper, then having a copper sequin is going to be very exciting for you. I like them. I think this is great. Now this white one is probably the same white that is in the other packet. No, there's no white in the other packet. There's a pink that's not really white at all, and so these would actually coordinate really good with that too. But I'm just so excited that we have more sequin possibilities now. Very exciting. So does anybody want to share what their favorite new product is? There's so many different things that we have. Uh-oh, I've already had one of them go stray. Here is some of the mini trim, the mini sequin trim. And I missed getting the black. I'll have to put that on a future order. But let's give this a cut here. This trim is really pretty. You love everything, Carol? I know I do too. I love it all. There's some things I was definitely looking forward to more than others. I like these little tiny sequins. So you can see the size of them in comparison to one of these other sequences. I have this out that got lost. You can see the size difference. That's significantly larger as a typical than it is for the sequin trim. So pretty, and it's very pliable. You could use this to actually tie a bow. See how it's going around my finger? I think it will tie really nicely if you desire to have a bow, or just stretch across a card, or kind of put it in a, you know, almost like a ribbon and attach it. There's so many possibilities with this. It's so much fun to come up with ideas for new things. And the silver, here's the silver. There's the end. I have to look for the tail. So the silver is it's equally pretty. Very nice. So we're almost to the end of the line, and I have 2 ribbons that I was interested in. I don't use too much ribbon in my projects. I use some ribbon, but I prefer to build texture in different ways. However, I do want to encourage other people to use ribbon, and I use the colors that are most familiar to me. So I like a small ribbon, and this one is new. It's officially called Sheer Ribbon. So it's Whisper White Sheer Ribbon, and it's almost like a satin ribbon. And this is going to be classic weave ribbon, and it's in Soft Sky, and it's very soft. It's very, very soft. This will tie very nicely without having any issues at all. So really excited to try them both out and see what looks nice with what. Now I think that this is going to coordinate with this paper again. See, I have a lot of these ideas that kind of float in my mind as I'm going to sleep at night. And then sometimes I'll remember them and come back and say, oh yeah, right, remember I wanted to use these things together. So here is how the ribbon looks with the lovely paper. And there's several different pieces that we would have an opportunity to use with. Here's the other one. Isn't that gorgeous? So pretty. And it matches perfectly. Even the white ribbon would go. And so these are more of a generic ribbon, and they will definitely go more. Your cards are gorgeous, Marcy, and so I can believe that you would use the ribbon. The ribbon is so pretty, and you do such a great job. Forgive me, I've got my allergies are running rampant today. So this is it. This is all that I got. I did not buy everything in the catalog, obviously, but I had a lot of things that were on my pre-orders. So I have a generous start to my new products that I've already been sharing. And like here's a card from Oh So Eclectic that I made and for a challenge, and I'll be sharing it on my blog on Monday. And this is on crumb cake. So this is fresh fig, sweet sugar plum, and crumb cake for a combination. And I chose to stamp it on crumb cake instead of stamping it on white as typical. So just a little something different. Now this is what I will miss from the sequin assortment is the clear sequins. I really liked those. The clear ones are just something different. So thanks, Marcy. I'm glad you like it. This is what the inside looks like too. Nothing on the back. Well, thank you guys for joining me today, and I will hopefully bring you some cool projects with this stuff going really soon. And I thank you for taking the time to hang out with me and watch. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks again for stopping by. Bye.